This week in Moto from around the world in 10 minutes or less. We got to start this show off with a few bangers. No pun intended. Unfortunately, AP is out for the season with a broken elbow. The cowboy, the underdog, the Jolly Rancher. I mean, that's the most cowboy jokes that I have. Unfortunately, he had a practice crash and fractured his elbow, which needs about 4 to 6 weeks to recover, and he's going to sit out the remainder of the Supercross season, but no surgery is needed, which is a complete bummer. As of right now, AP is running, ironically, 7th in points, number 7, and him missing out the last few races is going to be a bummer after his win at round 3 in San Diego. Continuing with the bad news, you've got Phoenix Honda, who just crowned the 5-time Arena Cross champion, Kyle Peters. They got 13 bikes stolen over the weekend, which is freaking crazy. These guys just broke the door, and a group of these blindfold SOBs just started taking bike after bike. I don't know what they're going to do with them, because, if they strip them out, these guys have got the VIN numbers. We'll see what happens. I really hope that they find these motorcycles and get returned, and these guys get what's coming to them. Moving on to something that I thought was funny, you got Deegan posting a video basically showing that his trophy is nothing better than what you get at a local flag football event. So yeah, that's a bummer. Piece of plastic. Maybe it's a joke, maybe it's not. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. Just let me know in the comments as well. But the check still clears. He got the bonus from Star Yamaha. And on that note, man, we've had how many open stadiums that have had massive amounts of mud? We've got Seth coming through a section where he cases it with his front wheel again and jumps and just gets stuck. Really give it up to Dirtworks for making sure that the track is raceable, because, man, if there's anything that I hate more than mud, it is watching a mud race. Makes me wonder, why haven't this been done beforehand? Because this seems like the outlier of the year where we've had a bunch of mud races that weren't actually mud races. Makes you think that they could have been doing a better job beforehand. But that's semantics. I digress. They're doing a wonderful job as is. On to MXGP, because I want to try to cover this stuff more, because these guys are so incredibly talented and they do some amazing techniques and lines on the dirt bike. We've got Liam Everts coming across with the win on round 4 for the 250 class. You've got Langenfeller, who ended up 8-1, and then you got Kai de Wolf, who is the leader, who ended up 1-8, which is crazy. They had some troubles there, but he ended up finishing 4th. Then in the MX1 class, you've got Jorge Prado going 3-1 with another overall win, which is just blowing my mind that this guy has won the first 4 rounds of the MXGP championship. And next year, he is moving over to the United States to ride with potentially Kawasaki. And unfortunately, Hurlings is going backwards. He ended up finishing off the podium with a 6th overall. Whew. For somebody that is considered the best rider in the world, it's crazy how you're only as good as your last race, and taking some time off, everyone just catches up. I've said it before. I said it even on my live show. The only thing harder than getting a competitive advantage is keeping that competitive advantage. On some interesting Stark news, some play on words here, where Stark Futures and Big Bets agree on a 25 million euro credit facility to propel Stark production and expansion. So they're building another production facility so they can keep up with orders, which is great. But the interesting thing about Big Bets is it's owned by the same guy that owns Stark Future, Anton Waz. This is potentially, I think, where he got the majority of his money to start Stark. Is it's an entrepreneurship, investment, and gaming business, which to me, that sounds like gambling of some sort. And so he's transferring 25 million from his other company to Stark Futures, which is great. That also could mean, are they bleeding for cash to where he has to invest more of his own money? You could go both ways here. You can look at it as a good thing, and you can also look at it as in like, hey, we're going all in on making sure this sucker is the leader of the pack, because you know what's coming from him? A lot of Austrian and Japanese manufacturers that are starting the e-bike craze to close the gap that Stark has got on the rest of the world. Another casualty of motocross training. You've got Petrucci, who suffered a crash while competing in some motocross training, and he is requiring surgery on his jaw and his right collarbone. Well, if he's like Cody Schock, he'll be up and ready to go at the next round. I don't know about that jaw, but you get that sucker plated, I'm sure these guys could road race because they don't have to go through whoops or whatever. Not saying that guys on street bikes are less badass than motocross dudes. I would just have to say that the motocross dudes are just used to constantly getting injured and riding with something. It takes definitely big balls of steel to go 200 miles an hour and potentially get high side and thrown into a wall or just slide your ass off for a quarter of a mile. However, the moto dudes, it's just part of the process. Pretty much everyone on the series as of right now probably has some sort of injury, or I would say at least half of these guys inside the top 20 have some sort of a broken pinky, a torn ligament, something that is bothering them. This weekend, you have the Nashville round 14, and that is going to be an east-west shootout. So you're going to have the likes of Levi Kitchen, who's going to go against his old team and rival, Deegan. Yes, I'm saying it's a rival because that's just the race I want to see. So if this is at all informative for you, make sure you WFO that like and subscribe button. My goal is to get to 60,000 by the end of summer. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Till next time, keep it WFO. Ba-ra-da-da-da-da-whoa.